Good evening, everyone. My name is Sabrina Baxley, aka Ilari Oba, aka Sabrina House of Faith, aka The Divine Sage 2020. Tonight I'm here with my madrina, Merba Chamizo, who is also one of the best madrinas that I know. Not just because she's mine, but because it's true. We are here to give you part two of when you are not in alignment with your destiny. Hello,
Yes.
Miss Merba, aka Madrina and Bendición.
Santo, baby. Santo, how are you? I'm so happy we are able to get together and do this.
Yes, on this free Mother's Day evening,
Yay. Yes.
we're making it happen.
Yes, we
So,
are.
the topic, and we have been discussing this, you and I, as we often come up with different things and bounce off each other.
Yes.
So, what happens when we are not in alignment with our destiny? So, the first question I have is what is the meaning of alignment for those that don't?
Okay. Okay. Alignment is a very, very heavy word, basically, and I say that because it implies many things. And in order to be in alignment, you have to. It's when your thoughts, your actions, your spirit, your destiny are all moving in the same direction and in the right direction, right? Um, I say that alignment is when you feel peace even though things are going wrong or things may not be going the way you want it to, but you still feel peace, you still have an understanding of what's going on and the why. Okay, the doors open for you without resistance because you are in alignment, you are in walking the path that you are intended to walk. So every time you try to do something, doors open because you're on the right path. You're also, your intuition gets a lot stronger. It's something that you are clear when you hear it, you know exactly that it's coming from spirit as opposed to, is this my thoughts or is this spirit? When you're in alignment, all of these things flow. Life doesn't stop hitting you over the head. You just, the way that you go about dealing with the issues on hand is different.
Right. Okay. Second question is can you explain the meaning of destiny? Someone's
It is your Yeah, it is your pre-chosen path. That is the contract that you sign prior to coming onto this plane. When you're born, you already have your destiny. You've already come together with Olodumare, Orumila, Olofi, with your head Orisha, your guardian angel, Orisha Labatori. You've already come together with all of them prior to getting here, and you have signed the contract as to what is going to happen here while you're on earth, why you're here. That is your destiny. What we are all trying to look for all the time. Why are we here? What is the purpose of us being here? And that is your destiny. Your destiny is tied to your Ori, okay, which is a big factor for us. We believe the soul, the spirit comes through here as soon as you're born, and that is tied to your Ori. And okay, it is revealed through divination, Ifa divination. And it includes all your blessings, all your lessons, all your trials, or your tribulations, and everything you go through life.
Okay. All right.
And that's something, I'm sorry, but that's something that people say, oh, but my destiny is something that I can just, if your destiny is not what you feel it needs to be, a lot of people feel like they can, get out of the way and make it something different. And no, you can delay it, but it's your destiny. You will live
Right.
it.
Right. Okay, the next question is can you explain how important it is to know once you have opened the door to knowing or awakening spiritually that there is no turning back?
Okay, this is a hard one because a lot of people don't want to hear this, but it's like I always say, innocence is bliss until you're no longer innocent, right? So once your eyes are open, but basically you're no longer innocent, you become spiritually accountable. Okay, there's really no turning back from knowing. So you become accountable for the things that you know. You become accountable for what your path is and what you need to do in order to walk through it, right? Because that's what happens when you're awake and you are understanding of that contract that you made up there or over there on the other side. You are accountable now for those things because you've awakened. Now you know. You can't pretend you don't know because life force knows that you know. It's not, you're not hiding it from me, you're not hiding it from your sister in the religion, you're not hiding it from your spiritual family. You're trying to hide it from the universe, and the universe knows that you already know, right? um and spirit will correct you. Some people say, how do I feel about punishment? A lot of people say, oh, the Orishas will punish you. They will come down on you. I don't believe that. They will correct you. And if you're constantly doing things that you know are wrong, because now you're spiritually awakened, right? You're awake. You're woke, like we say. Now, spirit, when you're woke and you're doing things that are not within your alignment with it, which is not within your what you know, spirit is going to correct you. So if you're going down the wrong road, spirit is going to constantly be trying to detour you to get back on the road that you know you're supposed to be on. And so now you have all these potholes, you have all these accidents that you're coming across, and I'm speaking metaphorically. You have all of these issues that you're bumping into on this incorrect road because you know you're not supposed to be on that road. So no one's punishing you. You're awake, you know better, and now you're choosing to take a road that it's not for you.
So true. So true. Okay. How do you stay in alignment?
It's hard. I'm not gonna say it's not. It's easier said than done. Any elder that tells you I'm always in alignment isn't true because we're human and we're living a human experience. And there's many other factors around us that may get us unaligned or disaligned, right? Misaligned. It could be something just as simple as, someone says something to you out in the street when you're going shopping that takes you out of your alignment. It could be a circumstance in life, an ailment, a child that, may be going through something. All of these things, all these factors that are part of the human experience can definitely get you out of alignment. But I think the best thing is because you are in alignment initially, because you found your path, you know your destiny, and you are in alignment. Listen to your intuition, right? Try to sit down, follow through with what spirit is telling you. Don't don't sway from what you know is right, right? Try to focus, sit down, do some meditation, spiritual hygienes, spiritual baths, rogations are extremely important. I'm a child of Obatala, and to us a rogation is almost a mandatory thing on a monthly basis. And I suggest to anyone who is on their spiritual path to definitely work on ori before anything, just the hygiene of your ori with rogations and with, different waters that you can, you know, wash your hair with or cleanse your head with your ori with. That could definitely help, and try to stay disciplined, not emotional, right? So a lot of times we get out of alignment because it hurt our feelings, or so and so is going through something and we feel bad, so we get misaligned based on, so just stay disciplined with what you know so that you won't be being without your alignment, out of alignment,
Okay. Understood. Understood. Um, what advice would you give your godchildren when spirit speaks to you and tells you that we are not in alignment? Because I know from experience that you definitely know. You know.
Yeah, and they do. Well, when you are someone's godparent, and I mean truly godparent, like you've actually crowned the
Mhm.
person, there's a connection that is made that it's unexplainable, but it's there. Right? When you're hurting, I know, I feel it. It's like I become your spiritual mother. We say godparent, and I never want to say the word mother because your mother on this realm is your mother, and I would never feel like, oh, I'm your mother. But that's spiritually, we have that same connection with our godchildren that your mother and you, your physical mother, and you have. And my first thing, and you know this, is get still. That comes from you. That phrase is your face. Get still. Get still. You already know. You already know what you're supposed to be doing. Why are we doing it? Why are we trying to go against the grain? Because that's what you do when you're out of alignment. You're going against the grain, and it just doesn't make any sense. It's gonna create a lot of havoc, a lot of issues. Just you're delaying your blessings when you do things like that. You're thinking, oh well, when I got a reading, I got a reading, a EFA reading, and they're telling me that I'm this and this and this and this is gonna come into my life. It's great things. I mean, day. And now you're messing up and you're doing things that you're not supposed to be doing and going against exactly what Ifa has told you and or an Orisha has told you. So now you're delaying those blessings. Although we feel like we have some type of control,
Right.
we don't.
Mm,
We don't. And so yes, I don't correct people. I try to open their eyes. Hey, so spirit's telling me this and this is happening. Are you good?
right.
And when they explain to me what's going on, when you guys
Mhm.
explain to me what's going on, then I go on and explain why these things are happening. Maybe it's the yellow that you're wearing that you're not supposed to be wearing because I see yellow
Mhm.
polka dots on your shirt, whatever the case may be.
Mhm.
Because spirit does show you, and it shows you, especially as a godparent. It's funny because spirit shows me while you're on the phone with me. No matter how, and you've seen that when you're like, well, I think I can do this, right? You've not even done it out of malice. I think I can do this. I don't think it's the wrong thing. And then we're on the phone or we're on FaceTime, and I'm like, but how about that? And you're like, oh, okay, I didn't realize. Okay, yeah, let's work on that, right?
Mhm.
So yeah, I say get still, listen to your intuition
Right.
and work it out. Let's work this out. Let's even if we have to work it out together, let's work it out.
Right.
You know?
Okay. So let's really discuss what happens to us when we are not in alignment with our destiny. For example, let's say I decided to leave my ATR to leave the ATR religion, spirituality, and return to church. What can happen? What should I expect? What could happen if I went back to church today, tomorrow?
Okay.
I go to church.
So I don't want people to think that this a spiritual walk that we are on is something that could be daunting or you're gonna get backlashes if you're not in it. But it's like I said before, innocence is bliss until you're no longer innocent. Now you know. Now you know the contract that you signed before you got here. Now you know through divination exactly what you're supposed to be doing, how you're supposed to be doing it to get from point A to point B to what your destiny is. What do you need to do in order to correct what you've already done that might have deviated you from your destiny, right? So you already know all these things. And going back to your previous spiritual walk would definitely disalign you. So a lot of people, once again, love to say, "Oh, whew, you better not," because they're gonna come down on you and they're gonna do this and they're gonna do that. It's not that they're gonna do anything; you're doing it to yourself, right? Now you're here on the spiritual walk. You've gotten your divination. You've done what you need to do, and this is prior. This is even prior to crowning because that's another discussion about after crowning, right? So before crowning, you're on your path. You've done what you need to do and you're taking this spiritual walk, you're listening to your ancestors, you're lifting your ancestors, giving them that spiritual light that they need to work with you and walk with you on this plane so they can guide you. And you decide to push all that aside and go back to church where they tell you that that is not of God. Well, now you don't have that connection anymore because you're not doing the things that you were doing while you were on this walk, right? You're not in alignment anymore. You're not listening anymore. You can't have that strong connection anymore. Therefore, you get out of your path. And so what happens what we were talking about before when you are no longer in alignment, you start hitting roadblocks. You go back to your old ways. You start just seeing life for what it is not for you. and you start seeing life what you think should be for you. And that creates a lot of problems. It creates inner conflict. It creates, all types of internal wars and things of that nature. And understand that ego, your ancestors are still going to pull.
Mm,
So you're gonna feel that thing that you did at the beginning, but even more so now because you know what it is. At the beginning, you were feeling like, I don't know, there's something that's pulling me to, ancestor veneration or Orisha practice, and you didn't know what it was. But now that you step back, you're still gonna have that pull. You're still gonna have that thing that's missing within you. Now more so because you know. Okay. So I always say once you take this walk, it's hard to go back because when your eyes are open, it's hard to close them. It's hard. You get out of you get misaligned or
right.
and it creates conflict in your life.
Mm. Yeah, I call it the Pandora's box. Once you open it up, mm,
It's
it's
hard.
hard.
It's hard. I mean, we have free will, you know that.
Yeah.
And you can do whatever you want. You can go back to church tomorrow and completely ignore this and say, you know what, this is for me, and go back to church. But there are going to be trials and tribulations. There are going to be bumps in the road. There are going to be issues in your life because
Right. Yeah.
you opened up the box.
Absolutely. I love how you explained that. I love that. So what advice would you give to a beginner for like alignment? How could they kind of stay their beginning? So how could they what can they do to keep themselves kind of grounded and in alignment?
First of all, my first thing is don't rush it. And I say don't rush it, and some people might be like, what? You be meeting your godchildren and within a year they're crowned. But because they were already on that path. We didn't rush it. And I say that because of us, right? We met and like a few months later you were like, how in the heck did this happen? How did I get here? But it's because spirit put you where you needed to be, and then everything just opened up for you, right? That's what happens when you're in alignment. You came to me, I came to you, we came together, and that created that alignment, and that created the situation where all of your ancestors and all of mine came together to create what was your destiny. So that's not rushing it, that's just falling into alignment, the last little bit that you need of alignment in order to move forward. But my biggest thing is don't rush it, really. Go with it. Listen to your ori or your intuition. Don't cherry pick what feels good, right? Don't go to Google. Don't go to Google. And definitely start with your ancestors. It's very important that you start working on your ancestors because your ancestors will help you with your ori and your ori will help you with your ancestral connection. It comes together. It's not something that you have to do one before the other. It comes together. You understand? Be humble. Be humble. Be patient. Don't feel like this is not an antibiotic pill that fixes everything. This is a process, right?
It's not
This is a process.
a
It's a process. It's a process. It's like our Sunday prayers, right? We're on that every single week, and the person that thinks like, "Oh, I'm going to get on that prayer thing, and next week I'm not going to have any problems," that's not the way it works. It's about it's about patience. It's about consistency. Okay, you got to be consistent in this. Alrighty, and it's about also finding the right elders.
Absolutely.
Don't and just if you've never been truthful, if you've never been a good friend, if you've never been honest, if you've never been open with anyone, I do suggest that once you find that person and your Odi and your ancestors will let you know that that is the right person. Things will just fall in place. Things will just fall
Yeah.
in place. Life will start doing what it needs to do. And I'm sorry, that was my little grandbaby walking in. The life will start doing what it needs to do. So don't think about my biggest thing is when you find that person, don't try to look to the side and be like, oh, how much is this gonna cost? Well, how much is this gonna be? Because as you very well know, no matter what it costs, whether it's $5 or $20, the money will fall on your lap.
Absolutely.
I mean, some people may think to themselves, what is she talking about? And until you've experienced it, you won't know what I'm talking about. But the money will fall into your lap. If I tell you it's gonna cost you $50,000 to crown an Ochun, which is absurd, absurd, and nowhere near that, right? Because that is one of the least expensive orishas to crown.
Mm-hmm.
If you are where you need to be and you are with the people that you need to be, the money will come. And then 20 years down the line, you'll be like, well, she scammed me with the money, but you got crowned because Ochun just needed to be on your head. And that was the person that was supposed to do it. Even if that person and you did not deal with each other afterwards because of the things of this plane, it doesn't matter because that person's hands were the ones that were supposed to get place that'll tune your do your crowning ceremony
Absolutely.
so that you can have that connection. So don't look too much. I mean, of course, don't let people take advantage of you, but and always open your eyes because there are some really malicious people out here. But if you're patient, if you listen to Ori, if you stay connected to your ancestors and you take things slowly, you will get there. You will be able to see who has your best interests in mind and which way to go with it. And I'm sorry that was long-winded because there's so many
That was
different things.
awesome. That was very detailed and that was good. I like that.
And there are other factors, but overall is take it slow and find that person that you truly connect with. And I'm not saying truly connect with because, gang, we drink together and I mess with her and I like the way she's not that. It's deeper than that.
Way deeper. Hmm. I like that. Okay. We're getting down to the wire here. Let's say I have received my hand of Kofa, then
Okay.
decided, no, it's not for me. I got my E5 pot. This ain't for me. I'm gonna just, I'm gonna throw it away. I don't want it. What could happen?
Oh no. Oh no, don't do that. All right. So this goes deeper than what we just spoke about before, right? Once again, I don't believe in punishment of the Orishas. Once again, I don't. Since we met, I've always told you they don't punish you. You do this to yourself. People don't want to be accountable, don't want to take accountability for their actions and for the mishaps in their life and how they had a hand in doing in creating that mishap. When you receive your hand, you get your destiny, right? That's when they tell you, hey, this is who you are, past, present, and future. This is how you walk life. These are your taboos. This is things you cannot do for your betterment, right? So that you can now that you're in alignment, you're gonna receive your warriors. They're gonna be there for you. They're gonna be the ones at the front going to bat for you. And you have a Rumula right there, just guiding you in everything that you're going to do from here on in. And you decide to get rid of all of that, understand that if I'm helping you walk across the street, trying to avoid all the trucks and all the cars that are coming, and I'm telling you come this way, and I'm guiding you come that way, and I'm telling you, hey, move this way, move that way, do this, do that, and you throw me away, what happens when you go to cross the street? Now you're gonna get trampled, right? Because you don't have any guidance. You don't have that guidance anymore. You don't have that protection
Um,
anymore.
just threw your protection away.
You just threw your protection away. You just threw away your guidance. You just threw away your what you came to this world to do. Not everyone. This is not for everyone. Not everyone is crowned. Not everyone has received their hand. That it's a very select few. It may seem like there's a lot out there because we all run together, right? Because this is a community type of
Mhm.
spiritual walk. So look at Mia's. Um, so it may seem like there's a lot of us, but it's very select few. And if you chose before you got here that this is your walk, just continue it. There's a reason you felt the pull. Not everyone feels that pull, believe it or not. Not everyone gets crowned, believe it or not. There's some people who receive their hand, and that's as far as they need to go. There's some people who are great spiritualists, and they sit at a misa and at a bovada or speak to you, and Edgun speaks to them like you and I are speaking right now, and that is their destiny. So understand that if you got that far, it's not nothing happens by mistake. Nothing spiritual happens when it's not supposed to. So even though you may feel when you first receive your hand, and you know this, and I talk and I walk you guys through this all the time. When you receive a rite within the spiritual realm, when you go through a specific rite or ceremony, life may seem chaotic for a little bit, because that's the reason why so many people decide, you know what, this isn't for me, I'm going to move on. It's usually at the beginning, because life becomes a little chaotic, and life becomes a little chaotic simply because you are being realigned. You were misaligned, and now they're putting you back on your path. You have to go through detours and all types of stuff to get back on the road that you were intended to be on. If you're on I-20, but you were supposed to be on I-75, what's going to happen? You have to get off I-20, you have to go through all the back roads, you have to go through all the detours,
Mhm.
and all of that until you get onto I-75, which is what you were supposed to be on in the first place.
Right.
There's going to be a little bit of a there's going to be change, and as human beings, we don't like
Mhm.
change. We don't like uncertainty.
Right.
And so it becomes scary. But understand that once all of that settles
Mhm.
and you are placed where you need to be,
Absolutely.
you're gonna look back and you're gonna look and be like, oh my goodness, thank God I took this path. Thank God I am aligned.
I am in alignment.
And you're gonna walk in your
Mhm.
truth. And you're gonna walk in your truth.
I love that.
So if you let it go, then now you don't have any of that. Now you're going back to I-20,
Back to I-20.
right?
Mm.
Back to I-20.
Okay, so I'm just all out of alignment. I'm just, I haven't grounded. I haven't done any spiritual baths. Um, I have my hand on Kofa, but the Orisha that I was given during the hand of Kofa, let's just use, for example, Shango. Let's say I promised Shango if he helped me out with getting this new car, I'm gonna bring you
Right.
6 apples. I'm gonna fix you a great big dinner, a big stew, whatever you want, plantains, all of that good stuff. Your red wine. You get
Yeah.
Shango gives me that car. I'm out of alignment now. I haven't done anything to stay in alignment. Shango gives me that car. What's gonna happen when I don't give him everything I promised him that I was gonna give him?
You're gonna see how you're, well, obviously you just said, I'm not in
I'm
alignment. I
not in
haven't been for a
alignment.
while. Right? And he is giving you this because the Orishas are about justice. They're about alignment, very much so. They are about creating the world that you were intended to live while you were here, right? Um, and so that things can go great. So that if that car was meant for you, you're gonna get it. Django's gonna give it to you. He's not gonna give you anything that wasn't meant for you, but if it was meant for you, he's gonna give it to you, especially Django. He is quick with me anyway. I ask him, it's like, here you go.
It is.
I'm like his little princess, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and you don't give him exactly what it is that you told him you were going to get him in exchange. It creates like a warp in the whole spiritual contract that you're creating with him, right? That spiritual connection, it creates a situation where now you are creating sort of like, let me try to give this visually because I love visuals, right? So you're creating a separation, right? You're creating a mistrust, you're creating a pull, you're creating a situation where Chango is gonna be like, okay, that's fine. You didn't take nothing from him. That car wasn't this from. He just gave it to you. But next time you go ahead and you ask for something, you're not going to be able to get it because it's about justice.
Yes.
It's about doing things the right way.
Mm-hmm.
And believe me that that car won't last long.
Mm-mm. It won't.
It won't last
It
long.
won't. So,
It may come into your life. It was supposed to come into your life because you deserved it and because it's part of what you were to receive in while in this plane. But now you're misaligned. Therefore, you will no longer have that vehicle.
mm, mm, mm.
And if
Okay.
you do, the problems will be grand.
Yes. Okay. And the last question, as an elder, what experience have you had when you're not alignment with your destiny?
That happens often. Remember, I said I'm a child of Obatala. We're a little special. Um, I start hitting walls. I just start hitting walls. I can't see a thing. Everything that I think is right, going against, completely against everything that I'm supposed to be doing. And you've seen me go through things like that where I am telling you, well, I'm going to go ahead and get this done and take this, and everything is flowing just fine and everything is okay. And all of a sudden, everything that I try to do, doors are closed, paths are closed. Everything that I try to do becomes like, it's like water in the hands. It just comes right, just falls right out of my grasp. And I immediately start to realize that I start having problems with people around me. It creates a situation that even my sleep is not restful.
Mm,
Um,
mm-hmm.
and life just seems heavy.
Right.
Life seems, things seem unattainable. With me, specifically me personally, I start feeling a lot of anxiety. Anxiety is my biggest tell.
Yeah.
My anxiety goes to the roof, and I don't understand why. And it's a definite sign that I am misaligned. And the first thing I do when I get that far, because sometimes it takes you a little bit to realize that it's misalignment, I go ahead and I go to Ifa.
Yes.
And I get my reading to see what's going on. And 9 out of 10 times when I'm going through that, okay, also, but yeah, anyway.
I did it to myself. Hmm.
I did it to myself. I did it to myself by trying to go against the
Go
grain.
against the grain.
Yes.
Okay. That's very good. You explained that very well. Very truthfully. Well, I appreciate you coming on tonight. Like I said,
You're welcome.
Mother's Day, evening
Happy Mother's
event.
Day.
And y'all, everybody, we just trying to help everybody to stay in alignment. Please.
And have a better understanding of what it means and not be afraid that
Mm-hmm.
that if you come into your spiritual space and you become aligned, that you are like, everything is a fear, they're going to punish me, they're going to, no, you have complete control of whether you're staying aligned or not. And alignment just means life just becomes a little bit more tolerable. Doors open up, you're able to see, you're able to perceive, you're able to understand. And when you're not there, you're not there.
Right. So true. Well, I hope you have the best Mother's Day ever. Of course, I'm going to call you
You
doing the
too. Yes.
church thing in the morning. So, yeah. So,
Yes.
love you bunches. Thank you guys for joining us. We finally did
Love you too.
it. All right. Until the next one, you all have a safe, blessed, happy Mother's Day. Thank you.
Love you. Bye.